Old Dominion will receive the opening kickoff. Ricky Ronnie, the offensive coordinator at Penn State before he came to Old Dominion. That Nittany Lions offense, in case you haven't heard, was pretty gosh darn good. They averaged over 35 points per game. We are underway in Winston-Salem as Old Dominion will start with a rock at their own 25-yard line. So who are we going to see under center for the Monarchs? Finally, we know it's going to be DJ Mack Jr. ODU announced this about an hour before kickoff. They kept it a secret for the entire summer, the entire fall leading up to this first game, and we finally know that DJ Mack has won that three-man quarterback competition. If that name sounds familiar to college football fans, we'll explain why in just a moment. He's a transfer from UCF, completed over half of his passes with the Golden Knights, and had a stellar showing in the 2018 AAC championship game when he became a household name. He starts in the shotgun with Blake Watson, the running back. And on the first snap, it is Watson who gets the call. Kobe Davis comes down from the safety position to make that stop. And Forrest, we know that DJ Mack can really run, and that could be a problem for Wake Forest.
Well, I think they also have to concentrate on him passing the football as well. He's as adept at passing the football as he is at running the football. The thing about DJ Mack, he's a big kid too, at 6'3", 230 pounds. So he's going to fall forward when he runs the football.
That's a toss again. It's Watson, and Luke Masterson, one of the captains on this Wake Forest defense, makes the stop, brings up third down and medium for ODU. Mack spent those 3 seasons at UCF mostly as a backup, but again, he did flash. And how about this? His first pass potentially goes 5 wide here, this ODU. Third and 5 for the Monarchs. Mack looking left over the middle. Got a man, the pass is dropped. And it'll be a quick 3 and out for ODU on the road. Looking for Ali Jennings.
I think this 5 wide is something we're going to see often throughout this afternoon, because when you go 5 wide, you spread the defense out, which gives DJ Mack a lot of lanes to run the football. So it'll be interesting to see how Wake Forest adjusts to that 5 wides, because when you cover all of those receivers, you give DJ Mack an area to run the football and be aggressive and effective with that run game.
He had a man open there, Forrest, and Ali Jennings III. But a good play on defense breaks it up. That was Jasir Taylor on the coverage for the Demon Deacons.
And for ODU, you want to try and control the clock. I think they have to establish the run to control the clock. You want to keep this high-powered Wake offense off the field.
And this is what you might see with a team that hasn't played in 643 days, a delay of game as they try to get the punt unit out. Our officials today, referee Rodney Burnett running the crew. We get our first look at Ethan Dwayne, the punter out of Melbourne, Australia. Sends it high to Taylor Marin, who fields it and makes one man miss. Marin, an all ACC caliber punt returner, sets up Wake Forest around the 30-yard line. Now we get our first look, Forrest, at the man Sam Hartman. More than 5,000 career passing yards here in Winston-Salem. What are you expecting from the sophomore from Charlotte?
Well, I think everybody's expecting greatness from Sam Hartman. Here's a guy that's played off and on for 3 years. Here's a guy that's shown maturity throughout the process. Here's a guy that has done everything that you ask for a great quarterback to do and be for your program.
We do have an injured player for Old Dominion on the field right now. We will come back in just a moment with Wake Forest's first offensive snap of the season. For the fall of 2021 after about 2,000 fans per game last year. Wake Forest's first snap of the 2021 season offensively is Christian Beal-Smith, the redshirt junior running back out of Winston-Salem.
And Christian Beal-Smith is a violent runner. He falls forward, he runs through defenders, so they will have to wrap up when he makes contact.
Strong 7-yard gain on first down. This time Beal-Smith makes a couple of guys miss, but is finally brought down in the backfield.
And although he was brought down in the backfield, you saw him able to jump cut and get out of the initial defender's way. Those are the small intangibles that you look for from your running back.
Saw Arterian Johnson make the stop there, number 21 for ODU. Third and short for Wake Forest. Hartman with all day, loads up and lets it fly down the middle. Decent amount of contact there, but No flag is thrown. Looking for his man, Ja'Cory Roberson. JoJo Heaton, the senior safety, on the coverage for ODU.
And it's interesting, it looked like Roberson stopped running, but I guess Roberson got grabbed right there. The officials just missed it, but he definitely got grabbed on that play. JoJo Hayden got away with one on that.
So these teams trade 3 and outs. And Ivan Mora will punt it away for Wake Forest. Waits up for ODU. Roger Cray is back to receive for the Monarchs. Or the redshirt freshman punter. Looked like it might have been tipped by ODU, and this is going to be a short punt and set up great field position for the Monarchs as it takes a home bounce for the Demon Deacons. And the Monarchs will start at the 25. Terry Jones gets a piece for ODU. The Monarchs are charged up and ready to go there for the season. So they haven't won a game in almost 2 years. Then the 2020 season canceled. They were the first FBS team in a conference in Conference USA to cancel it, and they have not played a game in more than 640 days. They get the ball back here on their own 25-yard line. It's DJ Mack after a 3 and out on his first possession. Mack hands it off to the second string running back, Elijah Davis. And he's gang tackled by a group of Demon Deacons after a short gain on first down. So Ricky Ronnie on the sidelines after he was mostly in the booth at Penn State. He likes to say he's a second-year coach and he was undefeated in his first year for us.
That's a great way to put it. When you think about this ODU ball club, one thing I can say, they've got fresh legs because they have not played football in so long.
Back in the gun again. Once more, it's Elijah Davis. Flying in to make the tackle from the secondary is Nasir Greer.
And not surprising, this ODU offensive line is getting pushed at the point of attack. I think that is the strong point of this team. They've got a veteran offensive line with some transfers in there, and I think if they can get a push, they can make this a ball game, but they've got to continue to get a push at the point of contact.
ODU 0 for 1 on third down. This is a 3rd and 2 for DJ Mack and company. Back on the give, it's 3 straight runs for Elijah Davis, and he has the first down of the game for ODU.
And you see what ODU is doing. They've got a lot of pre-snap movement, a lot of pre-snap shifting. What that allows the offensive line to do is get a read on the defense. That allows you to know if they're playing man coverage, if they're playing zone coverage, but it also confuses the defensive lineman.
Forrest, you mentioned that strong offensive line for ODU. They've got a transfer from Virginia, Garrett Vollmer at center. They've got a transfer from Maryland, Tyron Hunt at left guard. Another handoff, and again it's Davis. So 4 carries in a row for the Monarchs, keeping it on the ground and move the sticks again.
And once again, they're getting movement at the point of contact. That is what you want your offensive linemen to do. They're firing off the football.
Davis 10 yards on that last carry and make it 5 straight gives to number 12, the redshirt sophomore out of Lynchburg, Virginia. He was their leading rusher in 2019 with 337 yards, and he finally gets a well-deserved breather after 5 straight carries.
And one thing I'm noticing, the left tackle, number 71, Isaac Weaver, is getting great movement with that down block. I expect DJ Mack to pull the ball out and go around the edge if they continue to press down hard and slant hard.
2nd down and 7 for the Monarchs. Mack finally keeps it on the read option, and he's got another healthy chunk on the ground. So Forrest, as a former offensive lineman, did you like drives like this where it's just run after run?
Yes, because it's grown man football. And this is what you want to do if you're Old Dominion. You want to keep that high-powered Wake Forest offense off the field. And the best way to do that is run the football, run the clock, control the game.
ODU in Wake Forest territory. They're 1 for 2 on third down, picked up a 3rd and 2 earlier this drive. Back on the give, this time it's Blake Watson, brought down right near that line to gain.
And as I mentioned before, I expect DJ Mack to pull that ball out. I thought he could have pulled it out on that play and got around the edge.
No question for Old Dominion and this new coaching staff. They're going for it on 4th down and short. Mack in the gun once again. Watson is the tailback. He gets the give, and it's going to be close.
And I don't like going for it on 4th and inches when you're in the shotgun. Why? You only need inches. When you get in the shotgun, now you go from needing inches to needing about 4 or 5 yards. You see right here, you got great movement and great push by the defensive line. The offensive linemen have to understand on a short yardage play like that, you've got to get low. You've got to basically bear crawl. You've got to get under the defenders, uproot those guys, and push them out the way. You only need an inch. I would put DJ Mack under center and run the quarterback sneak. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. You don't get in a shotgun to get 1 inch.
And ODU pays the price. They do not pick up their first 4th down attempt of the season. You saw Miles Fox, number 11 for Wake Forest, the 7th-year senior, charged up, the leader on that unit. So it's Wake Forest ball for the 2nd time tonight. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Beal-Smith back next to Sam Hartman. Quick pitch out for Jacory Roberson, his first catch of the season. He lost the football out of bounds on the Monarch sideline, and they are fired up just to create that play. A couple guys in there, Trey Hawkins III and Arterian Johnson. And Forrest, we asked the coaching staff about the physicality. How do you balance that after not playing last year? And they said they're coming out firing.
What I love is you've got great pursuit to the football. You've got a bunch of ODU defenders getting to the outside, putting a hat on the football.
2nd and 7 for the Demon Deacons. Beal-Smith plants his foot, and he's close to the marker. Tackle from Jordan Young, their leading returning tackler, 94 in 2019, a 6th-year senior for ODU.
And Beal-Smith has already showed you the intangibles that you look for from a running back. Balance, vision, change of direction. You've seen all that early in this ball game. That's why he's such an effective ball carrier.
Wake Forest 0 for 1 on 3rd down today. Another run for Wake Forest, and Beal-Smith has lots of green grass in front. Beal-Smith to the house, and Wake Forest strikes first in 2021. A 48-yard touchdown for the redshirt junior from right here in Winston-Salem. Here's Nick Skiba, one of the most accurate kickers in NCAA history, to cap off that 3-play, 56-yard scoring drive for Wake Forest. He remains perfect, and the Demon Deacons lead 7-0 after a 48-yard touchdown from Christian Beal-Smith. Playing in front of the hometown crowd from East Forsyth High School right here in Winston-Salem. And the Wake Forest leads 7-0 over Old Dominion. Back in the booth, Drew Carter along with Forrest Conley, Abby Lamar down on the sidelines. Thanks so much for joining us for the opener here in Winston-Salem on ACC Network. That kick went out of bounds, so Old Dominion's going to be set up with phenomenal field position as they look for their first points of this 2021 season. So Beal-Smith, Forrest, 48-yard touchdown, basically untouched.
Well, you've got to play assignment football, and right here, you've got Ali. You cannot get caught right here. You cannot get caught looking inside, because when you look inside and you get the hook block right here, you allow for Beal-Smith to come around and be able to get around the edge untouched, and once he does, it's catch me if you can, because he's so much faster than the defenders trying to catch him.
Beal-Smith has a lot of speed. Last year he was kind of the lightning in a thunder and lightning backfield with Kenneth Walker III, who has since transferred to Michigan State. Now Beal-Smith is the clear lead dog. Old Dominion back on offense. They start at the 35 after that kick out of bounds. DJ Mack to throw on the first play. Looking for the true freshman there, Isaiah Page. And it goes through his hands. So
and a good job by the offensive line, Drew, on that play. They gave him great protection. Mack was able to set his feet, find his receiver, and the receiver squeezed the football. That's what you have to do. You've got to make plays for your quarterback.
Well, Forrest, that's the second time we've seen him put it right on the numbers for his receiver over the middle, but Mack is still looking for his first completion of the 2021 season. Might have it here on the swing pass to the running back, Blake Watson. Makes one man miss, but a strong tackle for Wake Forest and Kalen Carson, the freshman cornerback.
That was a great play on the outside by the defender, Kobe Davis, number 20. He disrupted everything that they wanted to do on the outside, allowing for Carson to come up and make that tackle.
We've seen this once before on 3rd down for ODU. They go empty set for DJ Mack. Mack surveys, he's got Page this time. And a nice tackle by Jasir Taylor, the captain cornerback for Wake Forest.
And what's interesting about that play is Wake Forest only brought 3 pass rushes. They dropped 8 back into coverage. I thought Mac got rid of the ball prematurely. Go through your reads. You have time. There are only 3 pass rushers. There are 8 out in coverage. So you've just got to allow for your receivers to find an open pocket. He just got rid of it prematurely. But I understand why you drop 8. You want to keep a spy on Mac because of his ability to break, contain, and get to the outside and possibly get vertical up the field.
Jasir Taylor snuffed it out in a heartbeat, so that brings back Ethan Dwayne out to punt again. But before the snap, flags fly.
Ball start. Kicking team number 80. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So Forrest, that's twice now when ODU has come out to punt, and twice they've had a pre-snap penalty. Looks like some rust, maybe.
Well, when you've had almost 650 days away from playing football, you expect some of these things to happen.
He did it again! He did it again!
Here we go, trading pre-snap flags. Wake Forest has had those 5 back.
Ball start. Kicking
Maybe
team
not.
number 29. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So maybe the 3rd time will be the charm here for Ethan Dwayne. Ricky Ronnie, by the way, said he never wants to see Ethan Dwayne play. He'll still letter him, even if he never gets to kick the ball. So maybe we'll find out. Those 3 penalties have all been with the punt unit on the field. Taylor Marin back to receive for the Demon Deacons. On his 2nd return of the season, a flag flies. Marin makes a few men miss and takes it all the way to the 50. Taylor Marin was a preseason 2nd team all ACC punt returner. Strong return that time. We will see what the call is. 16 yards on the return for Marin.
Personal foul. Blocking out of bounds by the receiving team. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed at the end of the kick. 1st down.
All right, so Wake Forest sets up shop with solid field position. The goal for the Demon Deacons this year is pretty obvious, and for more on that, we'll go down to the field with Abby Labar.
Well, guys, it's been known that this consistent Wake Forest football team has been pretty good over the last several years. However, the product of being consistently good, according to Dave Clawson, is being, well, great. That's their team mantra, good to great this season. Dave Clawson told us he actually got it from the book written by Jim Collins called Good to Great, meaning business principles and practices. He says he wants to run his program just like a business and take away all of the professional standards that need to be a part of turning this program from good to great, guys.
Thanks so much, Abby. Wake Forest has made 5 straight bowl games for us, but they are not content with that anymore.
Well, that good to great is interesting because when Coach Clawson talked to us yesterday, one thing he said that stuck out to me was they go and recruit guys that are not actually ready to play. They build them from being good to great, and they lost a lot last year with the time off that they could not work out. And he thinks that had a negative effect on them as a ball club.
Wake Forest starts with a read option there, and it gets blown up. Jacory Roberson, the target, makes the catch, but Trey Hawkins, the third, makes him wish he had it. Loss on 1st down.
And a great job by the defense right now. They didn't get fooled. You see, that's what you want to do if you're older man. You want to come up and put a hat on the football. A good job tackling on the outside.
Again, a repass option for Hartman, and that time he just stumbles down. So Old Dominion's defense picking up some steam. Corey Jackson, number 41, makes the stop.
Well, the tight end, number 23, Brandon Chapman, has to do a better job of blocking on the outside. You've got to maintain that block. You've got to get in front of the defender. You've got to put your body in between the defender and the quarterback. Your job is to protect the quarterback.
Wake Forest has looked to throw on the first 2 plays of this possession, coming in 66 of their 69 total yards on the ground. Now they go back to the air. Roberson open over the middle, and Hartman finds him. 1st down, Deeks.
And you see the maturity on Sam Hartman on that play because the defensive line in the middle of the defense got immediate pressure right there, number 3 with the blitz. But he stood tall. He had confidence in his offensive line, and he delivered a strike down the field.
19 yards on the pitch and catch. Here's Justice Ellison, our first look at him in 2021, and he picks up 7 on first down. Ryan Henry on the stop for ODU.
And now this Wake Forest offense seems to be in rhythm right now. You see that fast-paced offense. They're lining up on the football, getting ready to go.
Offensive coordinator Warren Ruggiero said if they're really moving and playing well, they'll run 90 plays in a given game. Injured Monarch on the field. That's number 25, Stephen Williams, Jr.
And if it's one thing I can tell you about being in a fast-paced offense, I played in a fast-paced offense, the fast break offense with Charlie Ward. And one of the things that we saw was the defenders start to break down because we were lining up. We weren't necessarily running the play, bam, 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 bam. But because we lined up on the football, they could not take the chance at getting subs in, so they had to stay in. So that's something that I look for from this Wake Forest ball club. You see them lining up. They're not running exceptionally fast, but they're not allowing the ODU defenders to sub in because of the fear that if they try to sub in, they may go really fast and catch those guys offsides. Or excuse me, catch too many players on the field.
My apologies, that was Ali. Ali helped off the field for Old Dominion, the freshman safety. Hartman in the gun, hands it off again. It's Justice Ellison. 2 straight carries for the freshman out of Virginia. And he's right at midfield and close to a first down. Wake Forest last year, almost 77 plays per game, which led the conference. And Forest, Old Dominion's coaching staff has talked about, like you were saying, it's not necessarily the speed at which they go, it's just the fact that they control the tempo so much.
Absolutely. And if you're Old Dominion, you had to run extra wind sprints preparing for this ball game because you know they're going to test your endurance.
That was a first down for Ellison. Lets Hartman take a shot down the field, broken up at the last second. He was looking for A.T. Perry near the end zone. It was a little behind him, and it was broken up by Corey Chapman, the freshman safety
Great
for
job by
ODU.
the offensive lineman, and Perry was open. I think Hartman didn't put enough on the football, which allowed the defender to get back into the play because he was open for a while, but Hartman has to put a little bit more on the football, allow his receiver to run under the football as opposed to reaching back. It almost looked like a back shoulder type of throw. You've got to put the ball, put some more air under the football and allow your speedy receiver to run to it.
And Dave Clawson said over the offseason that Hartman's arm has gotten even stronger than it already was. Here's Ellison again. This has been the go-to for Wake Forest on this drive. Another solid chunk brought down by Trey Hawkins.
And Ellison is a very patient runner. If you watch him, he allows for the play to develop.
Third down for Wake Forest. 2 for 3 on third down today. Justice Ellison, who we've seen 3 times on this drive, described in the Winston-Salem Journal as a 5'10", 204-pound knot of muscle. Tough to bring down.
He gives you a Le'Veon Bell type of style.
You see the patience again. This time he's swarmed by Monarchs right past the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th and short for Wake Forest. And Sam Hartman didn't even think about leaving the field. They're staying out there.
And I like the patient running style, but sometimes you just need to hit the hole and go.
Now Hartman does jog off. On 4th down and 2 for the Demon Deacons. Ball at the 41 of the Monarchs. Wake's going to line up in the Wildcat with Ellison at quarterback. Tight end Blake Whitehart in motion. Ellison keeps it. That's going nowhere. Trey Hawkins III blows it up right on top of the W, and it's ODU football.
And that's why I don't like the Wildcat offense, because you know he's not going to throw the football. So that is exactly what you want your defenders to do. Trey Hawkins did exactly what you want them to do. Go to the ball carrier. You don't expect him to throw the football. Maybe 9 out of 10 times he's going to run that football. They weren't fooled. They're playing aggressive. Great job by this ODU defense.
Trey Hawkins III, the junior out of Temple, Texas, one of 5 starters in the secondary and one of 4 transfers on that back line. Came from Trinity Valley Community College, and he just made his mark in the season opener.
And I'm still looking for DJ Mack to pull that ball out of the back's belly and get around the edge. because Wake's defensive ends are crashing down hard, trying to stop that running game.
Elijah Davis, the running back to his right. Mack pulls it. He heard Forrest Conley looking to run. Masterson is there to make the stop at the line of scrimmage.
And Mack looked a little indecisive on that play. I think he had the receiver open initially, but he was going for the big play. Sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you. Get the 5 to 6 yards, put yourself in second and short, second and manageable.
Old Dominion has not found success through the air. Just 3 passing yards, 39 total. Mack on second down and 10. The give is to Elijah Davis, and he's got plenty of space to run. Past the 30 and near the 25 of Wake Forest. A huge rip for ODU.
And that left side of that offensive line, once again, they're moving bodies over there. Weaver, Hunt, you see those guys moving bodies, playing with a low center of gravity. And you see the ability for Davis, once he gets to the outside, he's able to get up the field.
Offensive coordinator Kurt Campbell says he's maybe the most athletic player on the team. That's a 31-yard burst for the Monarchs. This time Mack juggles the snap, and he's brought down immediately. Ridden to the ground by Jashean Davis, who we're seeing start the game because Rondell Bothroyd picked up a targeting foul in the second half of the bowl game last year. So Davis, the freshman, gets a chance to play here for us, and he looks pretty good.
Absolutely, and a little extracurricular activity by Isaac Weaver, number 71.
Weaver is that leader of the offensive line, a 6th-year senior, 2-time All-Conference USA player. Back on the give, this is Blake Watson. Picks up a few yards, and for more on Jashean Davis, let's go back down to Abby Labar.
Yeah, well, I heard Jashean Davis had a pretty good camp, so I asked his teammate Miles Fox about him. I said, what's all the hype about this player? And Miles Fox said, oh, you just wait until week 1. Guys, he's really close with former Wake Forest and current NFL star Boogie Basham. Jashean Davis talks to Basham often. That's one of his mentors. They FaceTime all the time, guys.
Yeah, Boogie Basham, one of the best players in Wake Forest history, just went in the second round to the Bills. Here's Mack on 3rd and long. ODU 1 for 4 on 3rd down, make it 1 for 5 as there's Miles Fox, whose name we're going to say a whole lot today. Number 11 says it's 4th down.
And it's starting to get chippy out there. Once again, number 71 is getting chippy. I love this guy. He's playing with a lot of energy, a lot of aggression. I love his energy right now.
That's Isaac Weaver, the left tackle for ODU. Miles Fox, 7th-year senior. You see he's actually a transfer from Old Dominion. He said he only expected to have 1 year at Wake Forest. Now he's in year 3 and year 7 overall in college. 38-yard field goal attempt for Nick Rice, the senior kicker out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He splits the uprights, and Old Dominion is on the board for the first time this season. So Forrest, ODU, they have to settle for 3, but finally some progress on the offensive end.
I think it's positive for them. They've got some stops on the defensive side of the football. They've made some big plays, some big hits. And when you look at this Wake Forest offense, this high-powered offense, they've only given up 1 big play. There were some big plays to be made. I thought Sam Hartman didn't put enough on that football that could have been a touchdown, but they've held their own so far in this ball game.
Hey, don't forget, tomorrow we have a Week 1 college football triple header for you right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. One tap. First at noon, it's Colgate in BC on ACC Network College Football presented by Subway. Then at 4 Eastern, UMass takes on Pitt. We wrap it up at 7:30 as our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico features Northern Illinois and Georgia Tech. Take a look at the preseason ACC poll. Clemson, of course, projected to win for us, projected to win their 7th consecutive ACC title, but there's a lot of depth in this league.
Yeah, I think you better watch out for those Florida State Seminoles. I think they can make some noise this year.
Totally unbiased. Yeah, totally unbiased opinion there.
But North Carolina, that's another team to watch out for, although they're having some issues right now with Virginia Tech. So that's going to be interesting, the outcome of that ball game.
Yeah, UNC ranked 10th in the preseason poll, but for us, never easy to go to Blacksburg.
Absolutely not.
So Old Dominion, after they get on the board, kicks it off to Wake Forest and Jasir Taylor on the kick return. First one we've seen today. Makes a couple of moves, and Taylor's out clear. Jasir Taylor down the sideline. He could go. Jasir Taylor all the way to the end zone. 99-yard kick return, touchdown, Wake Forest.
And if you're Old Dominion, this is what you cannot allow to happen. 2 big plays of putting them behind the 8 ball. You've got to make tackles. You've got to stay in your lane. You cannot go for the big play. You've got a lane that you've got to stay in on kickoff, and you've got to do your job. Assignment football.
Yeah, it was a 48-yard touchdown for Christian Beal-Smith to start the scoring, and then it's Jasir Taylor on the 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. His extra point is good as gold as we look back at that 99-yard return for us. What'd you see here?
Well, there were several things. Right now, you break tackles and you keep balance. Right here, he breaks the tackle and he's able to keep his balance and get to the outside. Now, once he gets to the outside, watch number 9. Number 9 is running with him and he makes a key block. Right there, that key block did not allow the ODU defender to get to the sideline, which would have forced him back to the inside where pursuit was coming from. But once again, that cut to the outside is key in the balance. Those are the little intangibles that you need to be successful, especially on kickoff return, because there's so many bodies flying around the field. But a great job by the convoy of Wake Forest players running down the field, giving him lead blocks and letting him get untouched once he got to the sideline.
Jasir Taylor ran a 10.7 400 in high school. He's a senior now. He was the first true freshman ever to start for Dave Clawson at Wake Forest, and he is still making huge plays here in Winston-Salem.
Now, if you're Old Dominion, Drew, you've got to get back on offense. You've got a lineup. You've got a defense that may be a little bit winded for Wake Forest because they just got off the field. I think you try and go vertical right now.
Taylor makes it 14-3. That's just the second kickoff return for a touchdown for Wake Forest since 2008. This place is bumping. Lamarion James for Old Dominion tries to return the favor, and he's going nowhere. Brought down inside the 15-yard line.
And he looked a little indecisive on that return. You've got to make a decision and you've got to go on kickoff return because once again, you've got kamikaze squad guys flying down the football field trying to make a big hit.
So Forrest, you mentioned you want to see ODU try to get vertical here. They've got 3 passing yards so far, so something's got to change for that ODU offense.
One of the things they're doing, they're playing press man at times in the boundary. And I think when they play press man in the boundary, DJ Mack should try and get down the field with the football because he's got one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Looks to throw. This is a short pass, though. And again, it's Ali Jennings III who cannot bring it in.
And I need to see a better effort from Jennings on that play. You've got to get down there and squeeze the football. You're not going to get a perfect throw every time. What makes great players great is their ability to adjust to the football, squeeze the football, bring it to your body, and get positive yards.
Jennings, the transfer from West Virginia, spent 2 seasons in Morgantown. On second down, it's Blake Watson, the starting running back, back out there, picks up a solid chunk, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Wake Forest off the big-time 99-yard kickoff return touchdown from Jasir Taylor. Ready to roll in 2021. 2 big plays for the Deeks, and they're up 14-3.
Wound up and ready to go.
21 season opener in Winston-Salem, and the Demon Deacons haven't really been dominating, but they've got 2 huge plays, a 48-yard touchdown run from Christian Beal-Smith and a 99-yard kick return touchdown from Jasir Taylor. They're up 2 scores. DJ Mack again on third down, looking to throw. He's got his man, and it's a first down for ODU. That's Jordan Bly. First time we've said his name, and the Monarchs looking to settle in here, Forrest.
And a good job by Mack deciphering what they were doing defensively. They played an eagle front right there, 8 guys in the box. So they dropped people in the coverage. He did a good job of deciphering where to go with the football.
And with that one pass, DJ Mack surpassed his first quarter total of 3 passing yards. Again, it's Elijah Davis on the ground for ODU. Another solid gain Give him 8 yards. He's up to 64 for the day.
And when LDU has been very successful is when they've hit the hole, hit the play quickly. They don't need to have these long developing plays. They need to hit it very fast.
Davis again alongside Mack on 2nd down and 1. He gets the call one more time. And this time Wake Forest is all over it.
And a good job by Ja'Cory Johns to get pressure on the inside. You saw that inside move, number 4, to get pressure and not allow the back to find an open space. That's what you want to do. Even if you make them take a false step, you allow for the pursuit to get there to make the tackle.
Old Dominion is 1 for 6 on 3rd downs today. It's Davis again, and this time he's got enough to move the sticks. So Forrest, it seems like Old Dominion still trying to settle in here in the 2021 season. I think keeping it on the ground is the right way to do that?
Absolutely. And you see Wake Forest bringing in mass substitutions. They've substituted the entire defensive line. That's what you have to do when you're playing against a fast-paced offense.
Mack looking to throw. Pressure comes from Suleiman Kamara over the middle. Incredible one-handed pick. Travion Reed, the 6th-year senior. There is a flag on the play. For now, Travion Red's got a highlight that's going to last forever.
And Mack should know better. You cannot throw across your body like that.
Flag against the offense, and Travion Red has an outstanding one-hand interception, diving to scoop it off the turf here at Truist.
And quarterbacks are taught you do not throw the ball back across your body. You see Mack try to get to the outside. First of all, you see the holding right there. You see Mack get to the outside. Now, right now, if you don't have anything, you can't throw it across your body because you've got a whole bunch of defenders coming towards you, towards that side of the football field. And once you see the ball go up in the air, you start to see the tip drill. That's what defenders practice all the time. So I think that was a bad decision by Mack. He made a good decision earlier passing the football. That was a bad decision. You already had the penalty, throw the ball out of bounds, live another day to make another play.
And Travion Red gets a birthday present. Today he turns 23 years old. How about that interception? First look at Christian Turner for Wake Forest on the first play of this drive, the transfer from Michigan. Hartman looks to throw over the middle. He's got a man. Near the first down marker, it's Taylor Marin, the trusty slot wide out for Wake Forest.
And once again, you see this Wake Forest offense getting into a rhythm. They're not necessarily running the plays extremely fast, but they're staying and lining up at the line of scrimmage.
Deeks 2 for 4 on 3rd down coming in. It's Turner again, and he's got enough yardage for the first.
And right now, that offensive line is starting to fire off the football.
Hartman in the gun. Hartman loads up, lets it fly. Caught! Touchdown! A.T. Perry for 6. Hartman dials it up and finds Perry for a 36-yard touchdown. So another huge play for the Deacons, another touchdown.
Perry just basically said, I'm faster than you. I'm going to run down the field and let Hartman lead me. And that's something he didn't do on the previous play, but he led him on that play. He threw the ball where Perry was going to be, not where he was, but where he was going to be. A great job by Hartman, allowing Perry to clear the back-end defenders and be wide open.
Skiba 3 for 3 on extra points today, and Wake Forest builds the advantage 21-3 thanks to 3 long touchdowns. Sam Hartman's got his on to A.T. Perry from Sam Hartman, makes it 21-3 Wake Forest. 4 plays, 48 yards, a minute 10 on the scoring drive, and the Demon Deacons are in business. Old Dominion we'll start with the Rock at the 25. Drew Carter, Forrest Conley, Abby Labar back with you. And Forrest, what do you see here?
Well, you got this defender right here, and Sam Hartman is watching him. Now, what happens is when this receiver goes up and goes on this route, this defender goes with him, leaving all of this area wide open for the receiver to go down the field. So this defensive back right here has to get inside leverage, because if he doesn't, there's no one there to knock the football down. And you see right there, there's no one there. He doesn't have inside leverage. For that reason only, Perry is wide open. All Sam Hartman has to do is throw the ball where Perry will end up, because the defender, the only defense that he has is interfering, running through the wide receiver on that play.
DJ Mack and the Monarchs set up shop at the 25. Pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10. And as we saw in that touchdown, Forrest, A.T. Perry is 6'5". So when the guy gets in front of his man, it's basically lights out.
Yeah, it's a box out. So you've got to get inside leverage. You cannot give him inside leverage. But he's kind of in a no-win situation, because if he runs a post corner route, he doesn't have outside leverage. So you've got to pick and choose, and hopefully you pick the right one, and he didn't on that play.
2nd down and 10 for ODU. Elijah Davis going nowhere. Chase Jones on the stop for Wake Forest.
One of the things that's a little bit more interesting about this game that I thought we would see more of is DJ Mack being more of a playmaker. Right now, he is not the playmaker that I thought we would see in this ball game, and I don't know if it's because of the Wake defense or the play calling, but DJ Mack has to do more to help his offense.
Wake Forest looks pretty prepared for this ODU offense, which was a complete mystery coming in after not playing last year and having a new coaching staff. 3rd and long, Mack looks to throw over the middle. Can't find his man, Dante Anthony Jr., the tight end. And it's another punt coming up as Nasir Greer is there to make the hit and break up that pass.
And that's something else we talked about. You've got to use your tight ends right here. A good job by Mack. He sees where he wants to go with the football. He delivers the strike. Your tight end, you've got to help your quarterback. You've got to squeeze the football. You can't worry about getting hit. You're inside the numbers, inside. You know you're going to get hit. You've got to squeeze that football and help your quarterback.
Yeah, Dante Anthony, the junior tight end, 6'6", 244. Couldn't bring it in. We were 6'0", 201. He won that battle. Dwayne out to punt again. This is high, and it is short. It's going to go out of bounds on the ODU sideline, and Wake Forest will have it with great field position. Demon Deacons going to start at the 30-yard line of the Monarchs when we come back. ODU territory for the 2nd consecutive drive at the 46 after the 23-yard punt. Hartman looks to throw. His last pass was a 36-yard touchdown. He keeps it, and he's bottled up by Trey Hawkins III for ODU.
And not what you want to see from your star quarterback. You don't want him to take unnecessary contact. I'd rather for Sam Hartman to throw the ball out of bounds, throw it away, as opposed to take that contact. And I think the coaching staff is probably going to mention that to him on the sideline. We've got a full season ahead. I know you're excited to get back on the football field, but that's not what we want to see.
Sam Hartman has added a lot of muscle since he got to Winston-Salem, but maybe not enough to do that. So on the sideline, Hartman, Mitch Griffiths comes in, the freshman quarterback. Griffiths 5'11", 196 out of Ashburn, Virginia. Takes the snap to give us to Beal-Smith. He's wrapped up after a gain of about 5. And Hartman's coming back, so Griffiths gets the cameo. Does a good job with a handoff, and Hartman, after taking that big shot on the scramble, comes back in for 3rd and 2. Wake Forest is 3 for 5 on 3rd down tonight. Beal-Smith again gets the call. He's dangerous on the outside. Flag on the field, and he's brought down for a loss. Hawkins again on the stop, but we'll see what the flag is.
And Trey Hawkins plays grown man football on the outside. He comes up and he's making contact and knocking offensive players around. That's the 3rd or 4th time I've seen him knock an offensive player backwards.
Yeah, Trey Hawkins has 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo.
Offense number 50. The penalty's been declined. 4th down.
Holding against Wake Forest brings up 4th down.
Watch number 50, the left tackle. You see him right there. You've got to let him go. You cannot grab outside of the shoulder pads because the referees are going to call that every time. You've got to keep your hands inside the breastplate. When they get to the outside and they've got outside leverage, then you've got to take that inside arm and try and dip and get your body in between the defender and the ball carrier. Do the best that you can to give the ball carrier an opportunity to cut off of you. But when you grab on the outside, they're going to call that every time.
Ivan Mora back out to punt for Wake Forest. Deep to receive Roger Cray. Lets it go, and the Demon Deacons down it inside the 10-yard line. Second 3 and out of the day for Wake Forest, still leading 21-3. ODU with the football. That Hurricane Katrina landed in Louisiana. Whatever you can give goes a long way to the Red Cross. Old Dominion starts inside its own 10-yard line. DJ Mack in the shotgun. The give on the sweep is to Blake Watson, the redshirt sophomore running back. The tackle by Luke Masterson after a solid gain on first for the Monarchs. So, Forrest, what do you want to see here from this Monarchs offense, which has 10 passing yards so far today?
I want to see them take their time. I want to see them go. I want to see DJ Mack be more of a playmaker. I want to see him get outside the pocket. I think that's where he can be more effective against this Wake defense, is getting outside the pocket. Because what that does is that influences the defenders. Some of the linebackers, they now step up because they know of his ability to run the football. And when you influence defenders, you allow for your offensive players now to get down the field and break away from some of that coverage.
That time they keep it on the ground with Watson, who picks up the first down. They go 3 wide receivers to Mack's right. Keeps it on the option. Can't find any room to run again.
I think because of all the attention that they're paying to DJ Mack, he's not going to get a lot of running lanes between the tackles. Once again, get him outside the pocket. Get the offense into kind of a fire drill situation where you've got receivers breaking towards the football and maybe one receiver trying to get vertical.
And remember, Forrest, DJ Mack can be electric. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in the 2018 AAC championship game back when he was at UCF. This is a guy who can run. You just haven't really seen it so far. Watson the tailback again. And again, it's 3 wide receivers to the right. Mack looks to throw. Pressure coming. Evades 1 tackler. And picks up a few with his legs up the middle.
And that's a play where I thought he could have run the ball. They had coverage. The defensive players had their backs to Mack. He's looking down the field. There's nowhere to go with the football. You have to make a quick decision and go with it. And I think with his athletic ability, he could have gotten the first down on that play. But he's got to be more precise. And one thing we have to remember, too, there's a lot of rust. So, this is the first game in a long time for him. So, you've got guys that are rusty and trying to find their way. So this is a learning tool for this offense as well.
And he was competing with 2 other quarterbacks for the job, so he didn't get all the first-team reps in the offseason. 2 on the play clock for Mack. 1. They don't get the snap off. Flag flies. It's a delay of game against ODU. Not the first one we've seen tonight.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
And that's on the quarterback. You've got to be aware of the clock. You've got to get that snap count. You've got to get it moving. You're in control of the offense. And once again, I think all of these things are just remnants of not playing football for so long.
Right, keep in mind, ODU is playing for the first time in 643 days. Again, the play clock dwindling. Down to 2 when Mack finally gets the snap. Pressure comes. Mack lets it fly, looking for his tight end, Zach Kuntz. And it is broken up by Kalen Carson. So ODU has to punt again. We'll give you the recap of their drives. Punt, turnover on downs, punt, field goal, interception, punt, and now another punt for the Monarchs.
And I don't like that play to Kuntz. I think Kuntz, when you're 6'8", you got to throw the ball up. Let him high point the football. I think you get Kuntz around the edge. You get him in a position where it's him versus the defender, the ball up in the air. Let him go up and get it. Let him play basketball.
Kuntz 6'8" for us. The defender, Kalen Carson, 6 foot. It's Ethan Dwayne again to punt. Last time it was a 23-yarder. Gave Wake Forest great field position. Taylor Marin is going to return this one. Takes a second, makes a few men miss, and again, he's into ODU territory. Wake Forest has great field position once again, looking to build on an 8. Give to Christian Turner on first down. Taps his way for a couple of yards. And Sam Hartman looking good so far. Abby Labar explains why this summer.
As a counselor, he learned from Peyton Manning about how to be a professional on and off the field. But guys, the coolest thing he said was the fact that he was surrounded by 40 other D1 quarterbacks. I'll let you take this.
Hartman this time gives it to Christian Turner again. Another short gain. Abby, go ahead.
Yeah, and he said the coolest part was just being surrounded by other guys that are playing D1 football. They were all going through the same things, the good, the bad, the ugly, and he's got great relationships with all of them. One in particular, the other Sam in North Carolina, Sam Howell, is one of his good friends.
Thanks, Abby. Things going well for Sam Hartman. For the other Sam Howell struggling a little bit, UNC in Blacksburg tonight. Hartman this time's got a man. And it's a first down to, guess who, Jacory Roberson.
And a good job by Hartman, not panicking on that play. It was a bad snap. He was able to bend down, grab the football. He knew where he wanted to go with the football. Great job by Hartman on that play.
Hartman looks to pass again. This time he lets it fly down the sideline. Lots of contact, and here comes the flag. Trey Hawkins on the coverage there. Hartman was looking for the freshman Jamal Banks, 6'4", 208. Hawkins 6'3", 195.
And I don't understand what Hawkins is fussing about. You never turned around to locate the football. If you turn around to locate the football, the referees might not call this, but he never turns around to locate the football. Only after you push the receiver down do you kind of turn your head, but at that point, it's a penalty.
I mean, Forrest, that's just how DBs are. You can punch a guy in the face and they're still asking, why is the flag coming?
But too often you see defensive backs not turning around to locate the football. They just run through the offensive player.
Hartman's got Christian Turner behind him and Blake Whiteheart, the tight end, to his left. Turner gets the call with some room up the middle. Jumps through a tackle and is brought down after a solid gain on first down. Get a load of this. Wake Forest has 21 points, but this is their first trip to the red zone, Forrest.
Well, it's been all big plays. You've had 2 long passes and you've had the kickoff return.
Same formation for the Demon Deacons. Hartman in the pistol. Again, it's Christian Turner. Bottled up on second down, brings up another third down for Wake Forest. They're 4 for 7 today.
And a good job by the defensive line staying stout at the point of attack and not allowing the offensive line to get movement on that play.
Mass substitutions for the Old Dominion defense. On 3rd and 4 for Wake Forest, it's Hartman in the shotgun saying, we want to go, spot the ball. Wake Forest calls timeout. And we will keep it right here as a 3rd and 4 is coming up here for us. Wake Forest starting to have some success running and passing. Balanced attack so far.
Well, Hartman wanted to go on that play, but when Wake Forest has a substitution, they have to allow for the defensive team to get substitutions as well. If Wake Forest did not have any substitutions on that play, the officials would have blown the ball live and they could have ran that play and caught some of the ODU defenders on the field and gotten too many players on the field. But when you have a substitution, you have to allow the defense to get a substitution as well.
We saw Dave Clawson a little frustrated there. We know he likes to move. We told you they're the fastest offense in the ACC last year. Almost 77 plays per game. Clawson in year 8 in Winston-Salem, looking to take his team from good to great. On 3rd down and 4, Hartman looks to throw. He's got a man. Nice catch on the sideline by Donald Stewart. First down, Deeks at the 6-yard line.
And something that people will overlook is the intangibles on that play. Hartman, they brought the house. Hartman stood tall in the pocket, delivered the ball where his receiver can make a play on it, and a good job by Stewart stretching out and squeezing that football and bringing it into his body to get the first down.
The first time we've called Donald Stewart's name tonight, the transfer out of Stanford. Turner again in the backfield, as he has been all drive for Wake Forest. Hartman fakes it to him. Hartman with plenty of time. We know he can run. Looking for the edge. Hartman makes a man miss. Looking for the pylon. He's pushed out of bounds inside the 5. Jordan Young, the captain linebacker, pushes him out of bounds and saves 6.
And Harrell Blackman has to do a better job. Don't go for the fake. Keep running. You've got pursuit coming behind. You want to make Hartman cut it back to where the pursuit is coming. You cannot allow him to get to the outside. He did a good job of slowing Hartman down and making him make a play, but you want to keep getting to the outside. Force him to cut it back to all the pursuit coming from your teammates.
Hartman ran for 2 touchdowns last year. Turner behind him again. Play action. Hartman looking, overthrows his man. That's Jamal Banks, who's 6'4", not that tall. Hawkins again on the coverage. He's been everywhere tonight for ODU, 3rd and goal.
And a good job of red zone defense by Old Dominion on that play. They didn't get pressure on Hartman, but they covered up the receivers, didn't give him anywhere to go with the football.
Third and goal from the 2. Wake Forest has 3 big plays for touchdowns tonight. We'll see if they can punch it in. Hartman in the shotgun with Turner to his right. Hartman to throw. Toward the corner of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Wake Forest. Jacory Roberson. Welcome to 2021. Listen, Jacory Roberson can do it all. Last year, 62 catches, led the league in receptions per game. That time, though, Forest contested catch machine. Nick Skiba, 3 for 3 on extra points tonight. Make it 4 for 4. So Roberson 8 touchdowns last year, and his first one in 2021. Forrest, he goes up and gets it.
Well, a good job by Hartman right there, locating his receiver and throwing it up where he can make a play on it. When you've got 6'1" going against 5'8", you've got a 4 or 5 inch differential right there. And you see the defender never had a chance to try and knock the ball down. A good job by Roberson squeezing the football and keeping it away from the defender who was trying to knock it out of his hands when he got possession of the football.
Jacory Roberson had 100+ receiving yards in each of the last 4 games of 2020. Tied for the longest streak in Wake Forest history. Could be on his way tonight.
And if you look at Roberson's history with this program, he's gotten better and better each season that he's been here. The thing that coaches always look for from their players, and it goes back to what Coach Clausen talked to us about going from good to great. He said that they don't bring in a lot of great players. They get good players and they develop those players, and Roberson is a great example of that as he's continued to progress and get better and better and better, and they are looking for an absolutely big season from him this year.
Yeah, for us, it's not easy to recruit when you're the smallest school in the ACC. So you're bringing a guy like Jacory Roberson out of Murfreesboro, North Carolina, and he becomes an absolute star now as a redshirt junior. Another touchback. ODU starts at the 25. Hey, Sunday afternoon, we'll have 2 field hockey games for you. First at noon, it's Towson and number 8 Virginia squaring off in Charlottesville. Then at 2 Eastern, number 9 Maryland and number 12 Duke from Jack Katz Stadium in Durham. Both right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Wake Forest defense has been stymieing this Old Dominion offense, which has run for more than 100 yards here in the first half, but they just cannot get it going through the air. See what DJ Mack has up his sleeve with 2:45 to go in the first half. Keep it on the ground with Blake Watson. And Miles Fox again in on the stop for Wake Forest.
And because Wake Forest is doing such a good job with 4 linemen rushing the passer, they're able to drop 7 back into coverage. So when Old Dominion tries to pass the football, there's nowhere to go with the football because they've got so many men back there in coverage.
shotgun. Again, it's Watson on the give. And again, it's a short chunk on the ground.
And if you're Old Dominion, you've got to get a first down right here. Even if you don't get a score, you've got to get a first down. You don't want to give this ball back to this high-powered Wake Forest offense.
And we've seen them score on 3 big plays already. A minute 50 is plenty of time to score again. Back from the shotgun. It's another give. This time some room to run for Watson, and he's got the first down out past the 40. Kobe Davis on the stop for Wake Forest. Old Dominion is not going to huddle, whether it's a 2-minute drill or not. Might see them have to start throwing, though. They do have 3 timeouts. Back from the gun, right to Jasir Taylor. Taylor could have another big play on his hands. He's got the kickoff return for a touchdown already tonight. He's got blockers in front. Jasir Taylor brought down inside the 10-yard line. Have a night, Jasir Taylor.
And I just don't know where Mack is going with that football. It looked like he threw it right to Taylor. So right here, I don't know what, maybe he didn't see Taylor. Taylor was underneath the receiver, and it just looked like Mack maybe did not see him. And you see Kalen Carson, if he stays attached to that play and stays attached to that block, he may be going in for the score.
47-yard return for Taylor, who did return his first interception last year for a touchdown against NC State. Came up 7 yards short this time. Raphael Mccoy, the freshman receiver, keeps him from pay dirt. We just saw Wake Forest score from in close. Christian Beal-Smith back out there next to Sam Hartman. Hartman from the gun, looking to throw. Again to the corner. It was fruitful last time. This one, it's a little out of the reach of Keyshawn Williams, the freshman wideout from Philly. Hartman's got 2 passing touchdowns tonight already to go with 82 yards. Second and goal from the 7. Hartman on the give to Beal-Smith, who's got 1 touchdown already tonight. This time from shorter distance, leaps for the end zone, comes up a yard short.
And Beal-Smith almost got to the edge. A good job by the Old Dominion defense to get up the field and not allow Bill to plant that foot and get north and south as quickly as he wanted to.
So Wake Forest with about a 15-second differential can run this down and run one of the last plays of this first half. Before they do, they call timeout. So Wake Forest uses its second timeout to get the troops settled before this 3rd and goal. Hey, coming up at halftime, we've got a recap of the first half as Wake Forest with 3 big plays and 1 short touchdown. We've mentioned a couple times UNC, number 10 in the country, in trouble in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. And Duke kicking off the season against Charlotte. That's all coming up at halftime right here on ACC Network. So both teams in the huddle here for us. I want to talk about Old Dominion. You're down 28-3. It's your first game in almost 2 years. What do you say if you're a leader on this team?
Keep competing. You can't stop. It's only the first half of football. Just like they've scored 28 points in the first half, you can come back and score 28 points in the second half. What you've got to do now is you want to hold them to a field goal attempt, and then you want to try and block the field goal. You want to keep them from scoring another touchdown, but you've got to keep playing. You've got to keep competing. Once again, this is your first football game in 643 days. So you've got to continue to get better. Everyone is still learning one another on this ball club. They've got so many new players. So, you expect them to have, their hiccups and their growing pains, but you've got to use this as a learning mechanism and get better and try and make plays.
Demon Deacons on the doorstep. Beal-Smith gets the call, looking for his 2nd touchdown tonight It's going to be tight right on top of the goal line. Clock is ticking. 10 seconds left. They spot the ball right on the inch line. 5 seconds left. Wake Forest does have a timeout and they use it.
So my thinking is you go super fast paced, try and get the ball in the end zone. But you see right here, you see all the penetration by the defensive players. Once again, these offensive linemen are standing up tall. When you're on goal line, when you're in short yardage, you basically want to get into a 4-point stance and bear crawl because you've got to uproot. But you see all of the Wake defenders, black shirts up high, and you see the white shirts down low. When they're down low, they're getting the push. The push is going backwards as opposed to forward towards the goal line.
I mean, that's got to be where you're licking your chops as an O-lineman, right?
Well, that's what you do sled work for plays like this. And that's the challenge. You've got to accept the challenge because it's grown man down there. You know what you're going to do. They know what you're going to do. Now let's see who can get off the ball first, because whoever gets off the ball first is going to win at the point of attack.
Hartman's going to line up in the shotgun again. 4th and goal from about 6 inches off the goal line. He was demanding to set the ball and snap it, but before he can, it's a timeout. Old Dominion. Ricky Ronnie was out of the numbers to call that one.
Now I'm a little confused that they're going for it when they let all that time go by. I think if you were going to go for it, you line up in a quick formation. When you don't get the touchdown and get another play, if you don't get it, then you call a timeout and go for the field goal going into the half. So I'm a little confused about this play.
They might have thought they had scored that touchdown when Beal-Smith was reaching for the goal line. You can see Sam Hartman was calling for the rock. It was set. Juergens, the captain, the center, still barking out instructions.
But you see the official run over and stand over the football, not allowing them to snap the football.
Sam Hartman is a guy who this offseason really worked on building chemistry with the other guys on the offense. Not on the same page that time. Hartman not on the field. He retreats to the sideline. Beal-Smith, the running back, with his fellow running back Justice Ellison to his left. Beal-Smith gets the direct snap, goes airborne. He's stonewalled. Second effort, no dice. Jordan Young on the first push. He makes contact with Beal-Smith, and Old Dominion, maybe a little momentum going into the locker room.
And once again, when you go Wildcat, the defense pretty much knows what you're going to do. So they're going to pin their ears back and they're going to try and get penetration. And you saw Beal-Smith try to get up in the air to get over the top, and you see the defenders right there. Penetration, first of all, so he had to jump from about the 3-yard line. That's where it went left for the offense. The penetration by the Old Dominion defensive line. You see Beal-Smith jump from the 3-yard line. There's nowhere to go, and you allow the defenders to be ready and to be able to put a hat on the hat and prevent him from getting to the end zone. Great job by this Old Dominion defense.
You saw Jordan Young, number 3, the 6th-year linebacker there for us, just waiting with his hands open, saying, "Come to me, I will stop you." So Old Dominion, after struggling to throw the ball and really struggling to move the ball at all on offense, has some juice going into the locker room. Dave Clawson called that Wildcat play with Christian Beal-Smith. Monarchs miss. 99 yards later, Wake Forest led 14-3 on Taylor's first career kick return for a touchdown. Then Sam Hartman, the quarterback, said, "I want to get involved." 36 yards over the middle to A.T. Perry on the box out Forest, and Wake Forest is looking not behind them, but in front of them.
Absolutely. And when you look at this Wake Forest ball club, they've done everything that you expect and want your team to do in this ball game so far.
Wake Forest to get the rock for the first time out of second half. And let's go back down and say hello to Abby Labar.
Well, you mentioned Wake Forest's motto, but ODU's is 1-0, and that is exactly the message that Coach Ronnie told his team in the locker room. Just go 1-0 every play, guys. They're trying to do superhuman things, which is creating mistakes. As far as the pass game goes, he says they just need to execute. He actually likes the play of his offensive line right now, says they're protecting pretty well. But other than that, the biggest thing is just to focus on going 1-0.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. Ricky Ronnie, a former college quarterback himself for us at Cornell. He's got to cringe when he sees 3 for 11 and 10 passing yards in the first half.
But his offensive line has done a good job protecting DJ Mack. I think DJ Mack is still trying to get settled into this offense. He has to have a better half this second half if they're going to compete and be in this ball game.
Got to watch from the sidelines to start, though, and Jordan Young throws down Sam Hartman violently. Check that, Marcus Haynes, the D-end, on the stop. And for us, we talked about this, that speed off the edge could be an issue.
Well, the one thing you don't want to see as an offensive tackle is a 6'4", 6'5", 230, 240 defensive end. Now, they ran a stunt on that play. He came from the inside and looped around. And that's what you have to do when you're playing against a veteran offensive line. But when you've got speed rushers on the outside, the tackles have to do a good job of keeping their shoulders square to the line of scrimmage.
Hartman undeterred, looks to throw again, and it's right through the hands of Ali. The freshman safety for ODU knows that could have turned the tides in a big way.
And one thing that can't be overlooked about this Wake team, they've had great offensive production with the big plays. They've had great defensive production with the 2 INTs. But the one thing we have not seen is a sustained drive by the Wake Forest offense.
3rd and 16. Hartman's got his man on the money. It's A.T. Perry, first down, Deeks.
And you've got 2 defenders out there. You've got him bracketed. You cannot allow that play to happen. You've got to knock the ball down. You've got to have a play on the football. You've got 4 pass rushers, 7 back in the coverage. The safety has to come up. You can't give him all that space.
Timeout on the field for an injured Monarch along the defensive line. We're going to step away. Back with more Wake Forest.
This is an example of the Jedi mind trick right here. I mean, come on, watch him. Oh, let me get down. And then the extra shaking.
You got to hand it to Deep Harris with the shake when he's on the day. You got to hand it to him.
He's a great actor.
He did sell it. It's 1st and 10 for Wake Forest. Sam Hartman looking to evade the rush. Can't do it. He's brought down in the backfield by Amori Morrison, and we see what a miraculous recovery from Deep Harris on the sideline.
And you know what, Drew? I've been in a ball game where a team has actually done that. We were playing Georgia Tech in 1993, and we were running a fast-paced offense. We call it the fast break with Charlie Ward, and they had a signal that they would do, and a guy would fall down and start screaming.
Yeah, it's a sniper.
That he was cramping.
Yeah,
sniper alert.
Hartman can't find a man on 2nd and 15. And you know what's crazy for us is the half just started.
Yeah. But if you look at that play, they were lined up. Wake was lined up, ready to go. And Old Dominion had some players running off the field. So as opposed to getting the penalty for 12 men on the field, they went with their Jedi mind trick.
We're just glad to see he's okay as Hartman loads up and lets it fly. Roberson was there but couldn't track it down. And it'll bring up 4th down and 15 for Wake Forest.
And once again, the only thing that Coach Clausen and his staff may have some issue with is they have not had a sustained drive. They've had big plays to score their touchdowns, but I think him and his coaching staff want to see some sustained drives because as they get into their ACC schedule against tougher opponents, they're going to have to be able to have sustained drives. They're not going to be able to get the big plays, as many big plays as they've gotten this evening.
Right. You got to think they won't have such a big advantage in terms of speed.
Absolutely.
Against some of the ACC teams. It's Ivan Moore out to kick it away. On the return, it's Roger Cray for Old Dominion. And the senior out of Florida takes it toward the 40-yard line for Old Dominion. So we could see maybe some momentum here for the Monarchs. They just forced a punt. Remember, DJ Mack is electric. Take you back to 2018 when he was the quarterback at UCF. AAC championship game. He comes in for Mackenzie Milton, who is injured. Throws for 2 touchdowns in the first half. Runs for 4 in the second half. UCF wins 56-41. He's the MVP of this game. So, Forrest, we know DJ Mack has got the juice. It's just a matter of seeing it tonight.
Well, you may have to adopt the UCF offensive philosophy to get the best DJ Mack that you possibly can. But I think they also have to start looking at these tight ends. They've got a distinct height advantage at the tight end position against the defensive backs for Wake Forest, but you've got to get the ball to them, throw the ball to them, allow them to go up and make plays. You go 6'8", 6'5", and 6'6" at the tight end position. That's the most impressive tight end room I've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
You know, they've got power forwards at the tight end position.
Right. That was Blake Watson on the first down carry for 3 yards. This time Mack will throw. toward the right side. It's dropped again. That's Isaiah Page, the true freshman wideout who can't come up with a catch. And going back to those tight ends for us, we've actually heard them talk a lot in the offseason about this. Dante Anthony, their starting tight end, said Ricky Ronnie was like a savior for us because finally we're going to use the tight ends. That's what they did at Penn State with Ricky Ronnie, but we just haven't seen it tonight.
And, you know, and he said, he's going to let our wings fly in first. Almost like, you know, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly.
They are caged so far. DJ Mack is 3 for 12 for 10 yards. He's got to throw on 3rd down and 7. He's got a man. That's Ali Jennings III, who hauls in his first reception of the day and a couple of drops in the first half. But that's good for a first down for Old Dominion. And now we might see this for us.
Excellent job by the offensive line. Now, see, did he push off? Yes, he pushed off on that play. The officials didn't call it. But right now, you know, you just got to do what you've got to do to get open for your quarterback. But a great job by the offensive line, allowing DJ Mack to sit back and find the open receiver.
Mack keeps it this time on the ground, wiggles his way through a couple of defenders and falls forward for a solid gain. On that push-off for us, no flag, no push though, right?
Absolutely. And a good job by the offensive line. Once again, you saw some misdirection on that play. They came with the counter action, and DJ Mack came back across on the other side, and he was able to get positive yards on that play.
Old Dominion in Wake Forest territory, building something on their first drive here in half number 2. That time it looked like a miscommunication between Mack and his wide receiver. Jasir Taylor was looming. He's got a pick and a kickoff return for a touchdown tonight. He is dangerous.
You see Mack right here. And you've got to know where your receivers. The receiver turned inside. I think Mack expected him to turn to the outside. Yeah, and once again, it comes with repetition. Repetition against live action.
Looking to link up with Cornell Hendrick Jr. that time. And on the run on 3rd and 4, Blake Watson is stuffed.
And when you've got that much penetration at the point of attack, you're not going to get positive yards. By the time Watson got the football, the defenders were in the backfield with him.
All right, so interesting decision here for ODU for us. Ball is at the 44-yard line of Wake Forest. It's 4th down and 7, and Ricky Ronnie says we're going for it. Down 25, why not?
Why not?
Mack in the gun with Watson to his left. Mack looking over the middle. He's got his man. Can't find Page. It's too high, and Wake Forest takes over on downs for the 2nd time tonight. Kalen Carson, the injured Demon Deacon, walking off under his own power. That's good to see as we watch back the play where he got injured. It was a late collision after the pass went over the receiver's head here, Forrest, and Carson comes in and a big traffic jam right there.
In a scary moment, you see the delayed reaction by Carson. He kind of takes on the hit, and then you see him go to the ground. The good thing about it, he was able to move around while they were checking him out. He's walking off the field, and that's great to see. You just hope that he's going to be okay.
Kalen Carson, still a freshman. He did play last year as a true freshman. Played in 8 games. They call him Los, even though his name is Kalen Carson. We asked Dave Clawson why Los, and coach isn't quite sure. He just showed up and said he likes to be called Los. So we hope he's okay. Nice to see him walking off the field on his own. Wake Forest offense takes over after that turnover on downs. That play was 4th down. Deacons start at their own 44. It's Justice Ellison on the give on the first play. A solid chunk on 1st down, brought down by Trey Hawkins.
And once again, Justice Ellison does a good job of allowing the play to develop. Often you see backs get the football and they just run up into their offensive line. But when you allow the play to develop, you allow your linemen to get to the 2nd level defenders and cover up those linebackers.
Justice Ellison had a great quote in the offseason for us. He said he didn't want to get lost in the sauce in this backfield rotation. He's losing defenders in the sauce right now. He looks great as he picks up a 1st down.
And one of the things that I've noticed about all the backs for Wake Forest, they run behind their pads. They do a good job of falling forward and bringing the contact as opposed to engulfing the contact.
Hartman to throw on 1st down. Got a man left side. Keyshawn Williams, the freshman wideout, with a solid game.
I think this is what Coach Clawson and his coaching staff want to see, a sustained drive by this Wake Forest offense.
Another 1st down for Wake Forest. Again, it's Ellison, again with room to run. Bigger part, that was second down. Now it is first down as they move the chains. And Forest, to build on that, in the first half, they scored the 28 points, right? That's good, but they didn't really move the ball a whole lot. 124 of their 204 yards were just from 4 plays.
Absolutely, and those were big plays. And you love the big play, but like we talked earlier, you've got to show sustained ability to drive the football down the field, because you're going to face better talent as you get into the tough ACC schedule. And if you can't drive the ball down the field, you're not going to be successful.
Ellison has been the engine of the offense on this drive. He picks up another first down after the catch out of the backfield. Ellison, the freshman running back, but we're going to have to get used to it this year. The freshman doesn't necessarily mean he's never played before. He did play last year, but he's still listed as a freshman because the COVID year didn't count toward his eligibility.
And you see the shiftiness in the open field. That's what you want to do, is get the ball to your athletes in the open field and allow them to be playmakers.
That was a 13-yard gain. On first down, it's Ellison again making more men miss. Some extracurriculars after the whistle, and finally a flag. We have seen these teams getting real chippy for us, even all the way back to the first quarter.
But once again, Ellison is showing you all of those intangibles that you look for in a running back. Balance, vision, change of direction. You saw the spin move. And the one thing that I see with him that you don't see often, once again, and I'll harp on it again, is patience. He's a very patient runner. It reminds you of Le'Veon Bell. Now, I'm not saying he's Le'Veon Bell, but it reminds you of that Le'Veon Bell style where you kind of wait, you allow your interior offensive line to get to those second-level defenders, and you make a play. He's done a really good job with that throughout the evening.
The dead ball foul against Old Dominion sets up first and goal here for Wake Forest. Push at the end from Wake Forest.
And there's no need for that from Tom.
Went against Old Dominion. So it's first and goal from the 1 for the Demon Deacons. Hartman looks to throw over the middle. It's incomplete. Keyshawn Williams, the intended target.
And this is where Wake Forest has seemed to have the most problems inside the red zone.
Yeah, the Demon Deacons 1 for 3 tonight for us inside in terms of scoring touchdowns. The big plays have not been the issue.
But this is good for this offense and for this ball club, because this is real work. This is live action. You're not going to get this type of live action in practice. I don't care how hard you go. I don't care if you're in full pads, if it's 11 on 11. You're not going to get this type of live action in practice.
And it's Wildcat again with Beal-Smith in the shotgun. He didn't score in the first half from this set. He's stonewalled again, but on the second effort, Beal-Smith is in for 6.
And you have to think that conversation that Coach Clawson had with him going into halftime is a reflection of what we just saw. I love the fact that the coaching staff went back to that play. And once again, it's good practice. It's good preparation for what they will see and face as they get into their ACC schedule.
And as you were saying that for us, we saw Dave Clawson give him a nice little fist bump. That's exactly what he wanted. 2 touchdowns for number 1 tonight, Beal-Smith. Skiba 5 for 5 on extra points. And Wake Forest keeps it rolling. They sustain a drive, 8 plays, 56 yards. And the last one goes to number 1, Christian Beal-Smith. ACC Network College Football presented by Subway. Then at 4 Eastern, UMass takes on Pitt. We wrap it up at 7:30 as our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Features Northern Illinois and Georgia Tech. Season opener tonight for Wake Forest. So far, so good. 35-3 they lead over Old Dominion, as the Monarchs are going to have poor field position yet again on the kick return. And they'll start just around their own 10-yard line. So Dave Clawson and Ricky Ronnie have never coached against each other, but this is not their first matchup. Back when Ronnie was a Cornell quarterback in 1999, Dave Clawson was the head coach at Fordham. It was his first year there. The Rams went 0-11. Clawson ended up taking them to the Patriot League Championship, but in this game, Ronnie got the last laugh, of course, because Fordham didn't win a game all season. So Clawson remembers Ronnie as a quarterback, not really as a coach, though. Ronnie's offense starts deep in its own territory. DJ Mack starts with a short bubble screen to Ali Jennings III, the West Virginia transfer. They get some breathing room out to the 20-yard line.
And once again, Isaac Weaver is talking. He's had a very eventful evening at left tackle for Old Dominion. I like his energy. I love his aggression.
If there's one thing we know about Isaac Weaver, it's that he loves to talk. Here's back on another screen pass out to the running back, Elijah Davis, who picks up the first down. Now, Isaac Weaver, the 6th-year captain, left tackle on that offensive line, he plays guitar, and he also says he's the best chef on the team. If you're looking for gumbo in Norfolk, Virginia, Isaac Weaver's your guy. Back in the shotgun on 1st down and 10 for Old Dominion. This is Elijah Davis, their leading rusher in 2019. Sheds a couple of tackles and ends up with a couple yards to show for it.
And a good job by the Wake Forest defense getting up the field, not allowing Davis once again to plant that foot and get north and south. When backs get to the outside, they look for an opportunity to plant their foot and get north and south. But when you continue to push them and keep them going east and west, you allow for pursuit to get there.
Back to throw on 2nd down and 12. Near the sticks, can't find his man. That's Jordan Block. Can't haul it in. On the coverage, J.J. Roberts, listed as a 2nd stringer, the freshman out of Hurricane, West Virginia, but they'll both play a lot, him and Kobe Davis at that safety position.
And Roberts did a great job covering the receiver on that play and sticking his hand in there right at the last minute to knock the ball down. He didn't overreact.
3rd down and 12 for Old Dominion. DJ Mack has not completed a pass of more than 10 yards so far. 6 of 18 for 30 yards and 2 picks today. Back under fire. The heat is on. Gets rid of it. The running back Watson tried to bring it in. That will be an incomplete pass.
And that's just the defensive line winning at the point of attack. You've got 4 pass rushers against 5 blockers, and then they bring a delayed blitz. Mack has to see that and get rid of the football. Usually where the blitz is coming from is where the open offensive player will be. But Blake Watson also has to do a better job of picking up the blitz. He's got to be able to decipher where the blitz is coming from, where the linebacker is coming, what seam, what hole a linebacker is coming to, and he's got to be able to get his body in there and protect his quarterback.
That was Chalon Garnes, number 9, on the pressure. We have a flag on the play, another dead ball punt penalty. That's the 4th one against ODU so far.
Kicking team number 83, 5-yard penalty.
And these are some things that are expected from a ball club that hadn't played this long. It's not going to be crisp. You would want it to be, but it's just not going to be at this point. But I think as they continue to play and they get some more games under their belt, you'll see a little bit more discipline out of this ball club.
7 penalties for 41 yards tonight for the Monarchs. And of course, we laughed this week when you asked Ricky Ronnie, who are some young guys who are looking to step up? You need to step up. And he said, the whole team?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. This is a young ODU team. Most of the guys have not played before. 68 of the 103 players have not played a snap of college football yet. As Sam Hartman comes back on the field, let's go back down to Abby Labar with more on Sam.
Well, while Sam Hartman and his offense were on the sideline, Sam was just completely taking control. He was going and talking to his group of wide receivers. He was talking to his running backs, and you can just see the maturity and the growth in this young man. He actually told me that this offseason he's been focusing on his mental health by going to therapy. He's learned everything from awareness of stressors, relationships with teammates, friends, family, and he says, I take pride going to therapy. I want to be an advocate about it. To develop the mental side of the game, guys.
That's really cool stuff, Abby, and I think it takes a lot of strength from Sam Hartman to go ahead and say that, and that's really cool. As Hartman loads up and fires and finds to Corey Roberson, his favorite target last year and so far tonight. But going back to Hartman for us, I mean, that takes a lot of guts to go out there and say, yeah, I need some help and I'm fighting.
Well, I like the fact that athletes are not coming out and talking about this. Naomi Osaka was an athlete that talked about it. Simone Biles is another athlete.
This time Hartman hands it off. Christian Turner, the running back, transfer from Michigan, picks up a few. And we also talked with Dave Clawson, who said, going to therapy doesn't mean you're struggling. You can go when you're feeling great. It's just a matter of going good to great, as we've talked about with that team motto.
Absolutely.
Injured Monarch is Jordan Young, the captain on this defense, All-Conference USA linebacker. Good to see Young jog off. Watch number 3 in white. He's in on the tackle as per usual. 94 tackles last year. Sort of twisted around, kind of tough to tell there what the injury is.
Yeah.
Looks to be all right, and if Old Dominion's going to find success later this year, they need Jordan Young. He only needs 94 tackles to become the all-time program leader. He says he knows that mark and wants it. 2nd down and 6 for Wake Forest with Young off the field. Taylor Marin is open, and his sure hands bring it in for another Wake first down. Taylor Marin, another guy who's listed as a freshman. This is his 3rd season at Wake Forest. A red shirt, a COVID year, still a freshman. Hartman fires. Marin's open again, this time in the end zone. It's broken up at the last second, but 2 flags fly, and Damian Charity is going to get caught red-handed.
And Wake Forest went with the play-action pass on that play, and Charity got caught looking in the backfield.
Pass interference, defense number 17.
See, right now you're running through the offensive play. If you turn around and look for the football, it will be deemed as incidental contact, but you've got to get your head turned around. Once again, these defensive backs are not turning their head and looking for the football. They're playing through the receiver. They panic and they try and knock the ball down before it gets there, which means they're knocking the arms down of the receiver that's reaching up for the football.
8th penalty against Old Dominion tonight. Hartman in the gun. The give goes again to Christian Turner. Not going anywhere. Ball squirts free. Looks like the Monarchs jumped on it.
I think he was down.
I think they might have blown it dead before he lost the football. Stephen Williams, number 25, was in on the forced fumble. Looks like Turner just got some news he didn't like.
Yeah, let's see if he's down. I think he's down. No, he was on top of the offensive player. The defensive player, right. So he's not deemed down yet.
So if they didn't blow it dead with forward progress, that's going to be Old Dominion football. And here comes the Monarchs offense.
Yeah, because his shin didn't go down. He was still up. He was on top of the defensive player. So that's a great job by Old Dominion to immediately recover the football. That's the one thing you have to do. If you think it's a fumble, you think it's a turnover, jump on the ball immediately.
That brings DJ Mack back out for another possession. Instead, it's Stone Smart who comes in for DJ Mack. So looks like Mack's night is over, and Stone Smart, who started the majority of 2019 at quarterback, number 4, takes over in the shotgun for ODU. And as soon as I say that, DJ Mack comes back in. All right, so we sort of expected this for us. Stone Smart played a lot of quarterback in 2019, but he's very athletic. We almost expected him to return kicks tonight. He's that fast. Now he lines up in the slot. Mack the quarterback. Here comes Smart. He gets the handoff around the right edge. And he falls forward for a first down.
And I think as the season progresses, ODU will use Stone Smart as like a Taysom Hill type for them. With his ability to stop and pull up and throw the football, that makes him a very dangerous weapon for this offense.
And Ronnie did say in the offseason when that quarterback competition was ongoing that what he doesn't want to do is have the starter looking over his shoulder. So don't expect a revolving door at quarterback, but Stone Smart should play a lot, maybe just in other positions. Watson on the give. Stood up by Ryan Smenda Jr. Preseason second team All ACC linebacker.
And Smith Jr. is a state champion wrestler in high school, so he plays with great leverage. He plays with a low center of gravity, a low base, and you saw his ability right there to stop the back at the point of attack and bring him down.
Yeah, we asked Lyle Hempel, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest, about some leaders, and Brian Smenda was the first guy he mentioned. Elijah Davis in the backfield next to Mack. Mack looks to throw, evades the rush. He's got a man, that's the tight end, Zach Kuntz. Near the first down marker, and they'll move the sticks again.
And right now, if you're ODU and you coach Ronnie, you like what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the offense start to get into a little bit of a rhythm. That's what you want to look for.
Zach Kuntz, 6'8". That's not a typo. He is 6'8". Along with Dante Anthony, the 6'6" tight end. You see a lot of those two guys on the field together. Back to throw again on 1st and 10. This time he's going for it all. And his wideout Cornell Hendrick Jr. trips and can't make the play.
But the difference you saw on that play when they went vertical is the defensive back for Wake Forest turned his head and was looking for the football.
Abby Labar's reporting that Blake Watson has gone to the injury tent, ODU starting running back. So it's Elijah Davis back there along with Mack, and smart on the jet sweep. That's going nowhere. Jasheen Davis blows it up in the backfield. Brings up 3rd and very long for ODU.
And right now the defensive ends for Wake Forest are not going for any ball fakes. They're just coming straight up the field. And they're playing great assignment football. That's what you need to do to be successful when you're playing against an RPO-type offense. You've got to play assignment football. You can't go for the big play. You can't go for the big hit, because just when you do that, the ball will not be where you think it is.
And it's impressive for us because these guys had no idea what was coming from this ODU offense. There was no film to watch from last year. On 3rd down and 15, Mack's got to throw. Wake Forest can pin their ears back. And again, it's Davis in on the tackle.
And the left tackle did a poor job on that play, keeping his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. You've got to get 3 kick steps back and then turn and run a defender past the quarterback's level. When you open that outside shoulder, you give up a short corner, which gives the defensive end a line of sight to the quarterback and puts pressure on him.
We saw Jalen Garnes there, the transfer from Navy. And on that play brings up 4th down and 16. So another punt coming up for ODU. Taylor Marin back to receive for Wake Forest. It's another short one off the right foot of Ethan Dwayne. Goes out of bounds near midfield. So more great field position for the Demon Deacons, already up by 32 points. As we take a look at what's going on in the ACC in Week 1 last night, NC State looked phenomenal against South Florida. But the headliner here for us, Virginia Tech. Don't go into Blacksburg and think you're going to pull out a win easily.
Well, you look at Sam Howell, 3 interceptions, 6 sacks. That lets me know that the Virginia Tech defense had him under pressure and under duress all afternoon. And Sam Howell is a guy that everyone is looking at to possibly be a #1 overall draft pick with his ability. I'm sure this North Carolina team will bounce back, but that's a tough loss to have. First game of the season, a great win for that Virginia Tech ball club. And I've been at Blacksburg. It's a very tough place to play and win a football game.
It's a huge win for Virginia Tech. And don't forget about tomorrow night, Georgia and Clemson in Charlotte. Wake Forest sets up shop again on offense as they cross into ODU territory with Christian Beal-Smith on the give on 1st down.
And once again, if you're Wake Forest, you want to just work on sustained drives, running your offense, getting good fits as an offensive lineman, showing patience as a running back. For Sam Hartman, getting the ball down the field to your playmakers.
Hartman on 2nd and 5, looking to throw. Flush from the pocket, rolling to his left. Finds Perry. 1st down, Wake Forest. Roger Cray again in coverage. That's a matchup that Wake Forest has exploited tonight, including on that 36-yard touchdown in the first half.
You've got 6'5" going against 5'9", so you've got an 8-inch height advantage.
That's quick math for us. Real quick. Got to pull out my calculator. You got it.
Hey, man, that Florida State degree. ACC, baby.
That's right. End of the third quarter. Wake Forest at 7 in the third. It's Christian Beal-Smith again on the Wildcat score. Demon Deacons in cruise control in the season opener. Time presented by Dr. Pepper. Wake Forest leads 35-3 as we enter the fourth quarter in the season opener in Deeptown, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Sam Hartman in the shotgun. The give goes to Christian Turner, the Michigan transfer, who's got green grass in front and is inside the 30-yard line. So the Demon Deacons in business again. And you think that Old Dominion might be a little down on their luck right now. For more on that, we'll go down to Abby LeBar.
Yeah, guys, I've been hanging out on the ODU sideline trying to get a feel for the spirit of this team. When Blake Watson went to the medical tent, he came out and tried to put his helmet back on. The head trainer talking to him for a little bit there, took his helmet back off, and then Watson turned around and got visibly upset for a while. So we don't have an official word on it, but he's still sitting over here without a helmet on. So otherwise, Hayden Wolf and Stone Smart have been keeping their arms warm over here. So we'll see what happens when this ODU offense goes back out there, guys.
All right, thanks, Abby. Yeah, we did see Hayden Wolf, number 11, warming up on the ODU sideline. He played a decent amount in 2019 for ODU, and he was also part of that three-man quarterback competition.
You see Hartman talking to Donald Stewart. He wanted Donald Stewart to go more towards the sideline. That's where he threw the football. Once again, that's what's good about opportunities like this. It gives you an opportunity to work against live action. More live action than you're going to see in practice, because, of course, in practice, you don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, Forrest, if someone is just tuning in now, they might see the score 35-3 and say, why is Sam Hartman still in the game as we get a flag before the snap? It'll be a false start against Wake Forest. But it's valuable to have Sam Hartman out here still with the first team because they just haven't played in a long time.
Absolutely.
Start.
And there's no substitution for live action against an opponent, an uncommon opponent.
Only the second penalty against Wake Forest tonight. Compare that to 8 for Old Dominion. So the Demon Deacons not quite as rusty as the Monarchs, who again hadn't played a game in 643 days coming into tonight. But still for Wake Forest, trying to knock some of that off-season rust off. Second down for Hartman. Here comes the pressure. Fires a bullet to the sideline. It's caught by Williams, the freshman. Spins out of a tackle, sets up third down and manageable for Wake Forest.
And a good job by Hartman to avoid pressure. They got immediate pressure at the point of attack through the offensive guards. They've got to do a better job of being stout. They've got to get a good punch. Too much catching going on the interior of that offensive line. You've got to punch to keep those defenders off of you, because when they get a hold of your body, they can make you change directions and get to the quarterback. But a good job by Hartman keeping his feet moving, getting outside of the pocket and getting the ball down the field.
That was the second catch for Williams. 7 different Demon Deacons have a catch tonight. Wake Forest is 5 for 11 on third down. Make it 6 for 12 as A.T. Perry has another conversion, and it's first down and goal once again for Wake Forest.
And that play was made by number 0, Christian Turner. He did a good job of picking up the blitz right in front of Sam Hartman, which gave Hartman the time to get the ball down the field. It's those little intangibles that they work on that helps you down the line.
Wake Forest is 2 for 3 inside the red zone. They start first and goal at the 4-yard line. Christian Turner is the running back to Hartman's right hip. 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Hartman looks to throw on first down. Wide open man in the end zone. Touchdown Wake Forest. Keyshawn Williams, the freshman out of Philadelphia. First career touchdown.
Touchdown, Wake Forest.
And Wake Forest has a 42-3 lead in the season opener over Old Dominion. Early fourth quarter. Deke set to kick it off to the Monarchs. Drew Carter, Forrest Connolly, Abby LeBar back on the sideline here on ACC Network. Thanks so much for spending some of your Friday night with us. We're glad to have college football back. Nick Skiba on the kickoff for the Demon Deacons. Stone Smart on the return, the former quarterback for Old Dominion. And check out the wheels on the former QB out to the 40-yard line. Here in Winston-Salem, there was a tragedy on Wednesday, a shooting at nearby Mount Tabor High School that left 1 student dead, and we have seen the Winston-Salem community come together in support. And for more on that, we go back down to Abby LeBar.
Absolutely, Drew. It's been a very emotional week here in Winston-Salem, but Wake Forest University is showing their support here. They have Spartan Strong emblems pasted down here at field level for Mount Tabor High School. And guys, Wake Forest University's Joel Coliseum was actually the reunification site for families after the shooting. So they spent 4 hours reuniting families with their students. So our hearts go out to them, guys.
Absolutely, Abby. And we learned today that they're not going back to school until Tuesday. Of course, we send our condolences out to everyone involved in that tragedy at Mount Tabor. Back on the field, it's Hayden Wolf in at quarterback for Old Dominion after DJ Mack got the start and played the first 3 quarters. Wolf on the give to Elijah Davis, and that'll pick up a first down. So scouting report on Hayden Wolf. He's a redshirt freshman out of Venice, Florida, 6'5", 219. Started 3 games in 2019. Put up some decent numbers. He actually attempted 65 passes in 1 game against Middle Tennessee last year. Overall 58% completions, 737 yards and 2 touchdowns, which actually led the team last year. 2 passing touchdowns. Wolf to throw. He's got a man. That's Raphael Mccoy, the freshman wide receiver. And that's near the sticks for Old Dominion.
And Drew, we talked about what Coach Clawson wanted to see from his ball club as far as sustained drives. But I think right now for Old Dominion and for Wake Forest, you get to get some live action for your second and third teamers, guys that you're going to depend on as the season progresses.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for ODU. John Luke Peaker is the running back to the left of Hayden Wolf. He rolls to his right on 1st down, throws on the run. It's a pellet, and I think it's caught. That's Jordan Bly, number 1.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete
Ruling
pass.
on the field is
Second
an
down.
incomplete pass. Now, if the last name Bly sounds familiar to the football fans at home, his dad is Dre Bly. Spent 11 seasons in the NFL, 43 career picks, a couple of Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl championship with the Rams. And I think his son Jordan might have caught that pass for us.
No, it looked like it bounced off the turf.
His dad saying that's why you play DB. Because it's a good play for a DB. 2nd down and 10 for Hayden Wolf. Back in the shotgun, 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Wolf looking over the middle, and that pass is off the mark. Trying to find Bly again.
And if you saw what Wake did on that play, they walked their linebackers up into both A gaps. When you've got a young quarterback in there and a second-team offensive line, you do little things like that to challenge them and make them think, because that split second of thinking allows the defense to have a competitive advantage.
And again, Forrest, we've said it once, we'll say it again. It's pretty impressive what this Wake Forest defense has done, but they had no idea what was coming at them with this Old Dominion team that was a total mystery. It's a bubble screen near the 1st down marker. Stone Smart, Mr. Do-It-All, is about 4 yards short of that 1st down, so we'll see what ODU does here on 4th down.
And a little bit of what I've seen of Stone Smart, he needs to be more active in this offense. I mean, he's made plays every time he's touched the football, whether it be returning kicks, catching passes, or running the ball out of the backfield.
4th and 4, it's Hayden Wolf alone in the backfield. Wolf to throw, here comes the heat. He's got a man a little high for Raphael Mccoy, and it's another turnover on downs for Old Dominion. Travion Red in there on the pressure as Hayden Wolf was under fire, and it's another turnover presented by Subway. Then at 4 Eastern, UMass Pitt. We wrap it up at 7:30. ACC Network primetime matchup is Northern Illinois and Georgia Tech. That one brought to you by Geico. All right, so finally Sam Hartman's night is over. Mitch Griffiths comes in, and his first pass is batted down immediately by Stephen Williams Jr. That might be a live ball. The Monarchs hope so, but it's blown dead. It's an incomplete pass for Griffiths. All right, so Sam Hartman, pretty good day at the office in week 1, and now the backups come in, and Dave Clawson has talked a lot about depth, Forrest, about how that's how you're going to go from good to great. You've got a freshman quarterback here in Griffiths getting some reps in week 1.
Well, think about any championship team. In order to win a championship, you've got to be lucky, you've got to be healthy, and you've got to be good. And being healthy doesn't necessarily mean everybody that started the season finishes the season, but you've got to have depth, like you said. You've got to have guys that understand that you're an ankle sprain away from getting in the ball game. So when you get the opportunities to play against live action, against an opponent, an uncommon opponent, you have to take advantage of those opportunities to show the coaching staff that you can be trusted.
We saw Sam Hartman talking with Jacory Roberson, two guys who make this Wake Forest offense go. Griffiths rolling, long roll. Pass incomplete on 3rd down.
And a good job by the ODU defense getting immediate pressure on Griffiths and not allowing him to look down the field. Griffiths had no opportunity to look at any receivers and go through any type of progressions. They got immediate pressure on him right in his face, up the gut of that offensive line.
Something we haven't seen in a long time, a Wake Forest punt. Ivan Mora, a redshirt freshman out of Georgia, back to kick it away for the Demon Deacons, and Roger Cray back to receive for the Monarchs. High spiraling kick pushes Cray back inside his own 15, makes one man miss, and that's all. That's Keyshawn Williams, the wide receiver, has got a touchdown and now a nice tackle on special teams. And he caught that touchdown from Sam Hartman, who had a pretty good night for us.
Sam Hartman does a good job of getting vertical down the field, leading his receiver, throwing it where only his receiver can make a play on the football. And you see right here, he allows his receiver to high point the football on that play. Here he gets outside the pocket and puts nice touch on it. Once again, a lot of quarterbacks get too excited when you have a receiver wide open like he had Williams on that play, but he did a good job of not putting too much on the football and allowing his receiver to make a play on it.
So Hartman not going to break any records tonight, but efficient, 18 of 27 for those 3 touchdowns. And with the 3 touchdowns, actually passed Jamie Newman on the all-time Wake Forest program leaderboard for touchdowns.
And that's an interesting story because remember, Jamie Newman won the starting job over Hartman. And Coach Clawson talked about the maturity of Hartman and Hartman dealing with it and not, being down on himself and still working hard. And you see the results of it. He's now not only the starting quarterback, but he's surpassed him in what he was able to do during his great career here at Wake Forest University.
Hayden Wolf still in the game for ODU. Pass complete to Javon Harvey for a 1st down. And Forrest, that's a great point because Clawson did talk about that moment where Hartman lost the job to Jamie Newman, who took the team on a tear. They went 7-1 to start 2019. But the way that Hartman responded, that was a flashpoint moment. He could have tucked his head. He could have transferred like everyone does nowadays in college football. But instead, he's still here, and now he's the starting quarterback, and it's his job. No one's going to question that.
And that shows a lot of maturity to be able to do that. And one thing I like that Coach Clawson said, he told Hartman, he said, look, you're going to eventually be the starting quarterback for this ball club.
And that turned out to be true. And it could have been a pretty rough situation because, remember, Sam Hartman started his first collegiate game in 2018 as a true freshman against Tulane. They needed to go to overtime to beat the Green Wave. And Hartman didn't really earn the job, according to Dave Clawson. It was just kind of circumstantial as Wolf's pass is incomplete. He had a suspension for Kendall hitting the quarterback. He had some injuries. Hartman was kind of thrust into action. So you'd think that if you start as a freshman, you'll start as a sophomore and a junior and the rest of your career. But after that, he lost the job, and that's when the adversity came in and he had to handle it.
But that's the joy of college football. You have to earn your position every season. There's new talent coming in. There are top line recruits coming in. So you have to earn it. It's never anything given to you. And that's why Hartman is so good, because he's earned the opportunity to be the starter for this offense.
3rd down and 10 for Old Dominion. Wolf's pass is complete across the middle. Isaiah Spencer, the tight end, 3rd stringer, on the catch. J.J. Roberts on the tackle for Wake Forest brings up another 4th down for Old Dominion. We've already seen them go for it a couple of times. They are 0 for 3 on 4th down. It seems like Ricky Ronnie is going to keep the offense on the field, down by 39 points. Just kidding, here comes the punt unit.
Timeout, ODU. That's our first.
Old Dominion calls timeout before Ethan Dwayne's 7th punt of the night, and that'll lead to a timeout for us after another punt from Ethan Dwayne of Old Dominion. Thanks for spending some of your Friday with us for the season opener here in Winston-Salem. Drew Carter, Forrest Conley, Abby LaBar, happy to be with you for the 2021 college football season. Dwayne puts his right foot into it. It's a low bullet spiral. Keyshawn Williams, the return man for Wake Forest. It goes right to him, and the freshman out of Philly makes one man miss and is brought down around the 27-yard line. Hey, remember, Sunday afternoon, we've got 2 field hockey games for you. First at noon, it's Towson and number 8 Virginia squaring off in Charlottesville. And then at 2 o'clock Eastern, number 9 Maryland, number 12 Duke from Jack Cat Stadium in Durham. Both right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Wake Forest pouring it on Old Dominion. And the Demon Deacons return 20 starters to a team that last year went 4-5, flashes of brilliance with a win over a top 20 team in Virginia Tech. And Wake Forest, 36 points per game last year. Forest, they return 100% of their pass yards, obviously with Sam Hartman, but you look at this list, it's a team that's really building something here.
Well, they're building something. You see, they did not allow attrition to set in. This is a ball club that lost their starting right tackle. They lost one of their big play receivers in Green, but they've got guys that have made up for the loss of those guys, and we talked about it. Building, depth in your ball club, and you see the effects of it. When you've got 20 of 22 starters returning, you have big expectations for your ball club. So it'll be interesting to see how this team develops and continues to get better as the season progresses and they face stiffer competition.
Rich Griffiths, the backup quarterback, still in, dives on the errant snap, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long for Wake Forest. And Dave Clawson, like you said, Forrest, has talked to us a lot about going good to great, and the key, as you said, is the depth. 5 straight bowl games is the longest streak in school history, but they're not satisfied with that anymore. Suleiman Kamara, Sam Hartman, they both said that we're tired of being a 6 to 7 win team. We want to be a 10-win team and compete for ACC championships.
Well, the early schedule is favorable for them. They've got Old Dominion now that they're playing. They'll play Norfolk State next, which should be another win for them. Then they have Florida State coming in. We don't know what type of team Florida State will be this season. I think we'll get a better gauge of what type of team Florida State will be when they play against Notre Dame on Sunday. But when you look at this schedule, they've got some tough road games. I think at Virginia will be a tough game because it's their first road game. Of course, at Clemson, it's going to be a very tough game. At Carolina, and it will be interesting to see how Carolina rebounds from that Virginia Tech loss this afternoon.
And one thing that Clawson said that really stuck with me, Forrest, is he said that at this point, he really thinks that Wake Forest starters are competitive with everyone in the league, maybe with the exception of Clemson, because very few teams are. But I mean, we saw a lot of ranked teams there in the ACC and on this schedule. Wake Forest first and maybe second string, good enough to compete with them. Now it's just about establishing more depth on this roster. Moron to kick it away. Roger Cray on the return all the way back to his own 20-yard line. Now he's got ahead of steam. Cray past the 40. Solid return for Roger Cray all the way to the 45-yard line. Old Dominion Network and the ESPN app, one tap. Old Dominion's offense back on the field. Again, it's Hayden Wolf, the backup quarterback, after DJ Mack really struggled tonight. ODU as an offense has struggled a lot as that pass is complete over the middle to Jordan Bly, freshman wide receiver, has a first down for ODU. And we sort of expected the Monarchs to be quite rusty after 643 days without playing a single game. Canceled the 2020 season. They haven't won since August 31st of 2019. Wolf complete to Zach Kuntz, tight end transfer from Penn State.
And I think as this offense progresses, I think we'll see more of this tight end being used. Kuntz, Spencer, Anthony, that height advantage, their athletic tight ends on the outside. And I expect also to see Stone Smart used more in the offense as an offensive weapon, because we've seen his production running the football, catching the football. He's been a very productive player.
And this Old Dominion quarterback battle wasn't resolved until about 90 minutes before the game. Let's go back down to Abby for more on that.
Yeah, hey, the team had to wait almost 2 years to play football, so they said, guess what? We're going to make you guys wait on who we're going to decide our starting quarterback will be. So there was a battle, but actually the team and the quarterbacks knew who was going to be the starter 2 weeks ago. Coach Ronnie said it wasn't so much a strategic thing as it was a bonding moment. They just thought it was cool to keep it all in-house, and guys, I'm impressed they did it.
Yeah, 0 leaks on this Old Dominion team.
That is discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about discipline, for everything that we have right now, social media, guys tweeting stuff out, guys talking to their friends, for them to be able to keep that under wraps and nobody to know until today, that shows great discipline by this ball club.
Yeah. We just saw DJ Mack, who ended up winning the starting job. I just want to know if these Old Dominion players, they have girlfriends and the girlfriends asked, were they not allowed to tell them? And then did they end up in the doghouse?
It's a brotherhood, Drew.
It's a tough position to be in as Jordan Bly makes the catch. I'm saying you're either in the doghouse with your coach or in the doghouse with your significant other. I mean, that's a rock and a hard place right there.
And you know what? I know Hayden Wolf is going against the second team and third team backups, but he's doing a really good job right now getting the ball down the field. He and Jordan Bly seem to have a real good connection.
Yeah, Forrest. Hayden Wolf already up to 59 passing yards. DJ Mack only had 39. Mack played the first 3 quarters. Wolf has come in here in the fourth, 8 for 14, 59 yards, and a 92.5 passer rating. There's Stone Smart, the guy you want to see get more involved. He falls forward near the sticks.
He has made positive plays throughout the evening, catching the football, running the football, on the kickoff return. You've got to get him on the field. He's one of those athletes, if he's not going to start for you at quarterback, he needs to be on the field and be your Taysom Hill.
Wolf on 2nd down and 1 from the gun, floats it over the middle, catch made. Again, it's Stone Smart. So Smart struggled as a quarterback in 2019, just 1 touchdown and 6 picks. But I mean, Forrest, you were saying this even before the game. You like what he brings to the table, and they can use him as a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, because he's a big athlete. He's 6'4", 235 pounds. So he's almost like a tight end out there playing the position. And playing quarterback, he understands coverages. He understands where the openings are and where to make himself a big target for his quarterback.
Wolf on 1st and goal from the 9. Floats it, got a man, wide open, touchdown Old Dominion. That's Isaiah Spencer, the 6'5" tight end. So finally, Forrest, we see those tight ends. You've been clamoring for it. Get those tall guys involved, and they do for their first touchdown.
And Drew, I don't want to start him because I understand these are the backups for both ball clubs. But Hayden Wolf looks really, really good. Watch the touch on this pass. He allows his receiver to break open, and he puts just the right amount of touch on it. He doesn't throw it too far. He doesn't get too excited. He knows where he wants to go with the football. He knows he has the matchup advantage on the outside because he's got a 6'6" tight end out there being covered by a 6-foot defensive back, and he does exactly what you ask your quarterbacks to do. Touch. This is a great job by Wolf, putting the ball right where it needs to be for it to fall right into the cradle of his tight end.
Doesn't get much better than that. 8-play, 55-yard, 259 scoring drive for Old Dominion. And you've got to be thinking at this point, if you're Ricky Ronnie, all right, you kept it a secret for the entire offseason. You decided on your starting quarterback. You come out game 1, immediately competition is back, right? It seems like Hayden Wolf might be challenging for that job.
You know, I think we'll have to see as the team progresses, because once again, you have to acknowledge that this is not the first team. Now, if Hayden Wolf had come in the first quarter and throw the ball like he's throwing it now and had the offense going like they've been going, then yeah, we can talk about the possibility of a quarterback competition. But I think as they get into Conference USA play, I think that, you know, as DJ Mack gets more familiar with the offense, but I also do think that Coach Ronnie needs to look at what they did at UCF and what he was very successful with doing down there and incorporate that into their offensive scheme. That's why he's the starter, because of his ability to be a playmaker outside of just being the quarterback throwing the ball down the field. He's a playmaker with his feet, but I think they have to look at the UCF scheme and incorporate some of that offensive philosophy into what they're doing for him to be more successful than he's been this evening.
Yeah, at UCF, DJ Mack could go, there's no doubt. Keyshawn Williams to receive the kick for Wake Forest. They've got one kickoff return touchdown already, courtesy of Jasir Taylor. Williams down outside the 20-yard line. So Wake Forest up 42-10 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go. You've got to feel pretty good if you're a Demon Deacons fan with a 32-point margin right now.
Yeah. It's Kelly as a quarterback. I think now you get another player in to get an opportunity to get some live action, and that is exactly what you want to do when you have opportunities like this.
That's Leo Kelly, the redshirt freshman, 6'3", 230. Out of Moncton, Maryland. Went to St. Paul's School, which is a powerhouse athletic program.
He's got great size, 6'3", 227 pounds.
And you know, Forrest, I mean, people might be saying that they're just bleeding the clock here, but we're not kidding when we say quarterback depth is really important, because Sam Hartman knows it firsthand. In that 2019 season we were talking about, Jamie Newman was the starter. He had to leave a game against FSU, not to go on a sore spot here for you, but he came in and he basically won that game. The backup quarterback will be utilized at some point in the season.
Absolutely. And every position has to continue to live with the mantra that you are an ankle sprain away from being in the ball game, so you have to be prepared. Too often you have guys that are angry because they're not getting playing time, they're not the starter, and when they get their opportunity, they're not ready. So you have to be ready. You have to prepare as though you're the starter every week, because, like I said, you're one ankle sprain, one bad play away from being in the ball game, and the team, depending on you knowing what to do and being able to do what you need to do for your team to be successful.
We know the Wake Forest schedule is tough and will not lighten up as they enter ACC play. Kelly on the give on 3rd and 9. That's Amani Marshall, the freshman running back, 6'2", 210. Brings up 4th down for Wake Forest. All smiles for Sam Hartman. 3 passing touchdowns tonight past Jamie Newman on the all-time Wake Forest leaderboard. His 36th career passing touchdown in Winston-Salem. He's a redshirt sophomore with a chance to maybe become the program's all-time leader in yards and touchdowns by the time he leaves Winston.
And once again, perseverance. He is a true example of persevering, being for the team and not for himself, and sacrifice.
Forrest, I think the 2021 season in a nutshell in terms of confusing classes for guys is Sam Hartman, who started a game 4 years ago, is a redshirt sophomore.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have to get used to that this year.
The beautiful thing about it for all these kids, so they can get 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah.
And you've got to find the positive with everything that, you know, we've gone through as in the world.
Right, right. I know they're so happy here in Winston-Salem to have a return to normalcy as we check out their schedule for the remainder of the season. That back stretch for us is just killer. At UNC, home NC State, at Clemson, at BC. That's a tough way to end.
Yeah, those 3 games right there. I don't know what Boston College is going to be this season. We'll get to know a little bit more about them. But right now, we know North Carolina at Carolina is going to be tough. We know NC State is going to be tough with what they did at South Florida, to South Florida last night. And then Clemson, of course, is one of the top ball clubs in the country.
Kelly on the give one last time to Marshall. Clock expires as he runs out of bounds, and Wake Forest puts a bow on a season-opening, convincing victory over Old Dominion. 32 points, the final margin, as the Demon Deacons move to 1-0 in 2021.